What is life force? We introduce the term life force here. However, before we speak about it, we would like to bring it into a greater context, a greater community context. These words are familiar to some people, and there is a great deal of idealism and speculation about what life force really is and what it can do. But again, when we use familiar words or terminology, we must bring them into a greater context. If you can enter into this greater context, then everything that we are saying will be illuminating and very useful and valuable. If you cannot enter into this greater perception and perspective, then you will continue to interpret things according to your own interests, ideas and understanding. Life force is an energy which exists in all living things. This is a familiar idea to many who read these words. However, in the greater community, life force has a greater value. It is an actual power that is cultivated, used and developed by certain races for certain purposes. Because there are adept individuals in all societies throughout the greater community, there are always demonstrations of greater skill, greater awareness and greater ability. However, if these are discovered by the powers that rule these societies, then these powers and abilities are put to work either as a defense or as a tool for controlling others. The discovery of greater powers, abilities and awareness becomes a liability for any society once these powers have a popular application and are seen as useful in dominating or controlling others. That is why the wise remain hidden, to remain alive and to maintain those greater powers and abilities that they have discovered. These powers and abilities have a real usefulness in the hands of the wise, yet once these powers become used for political or military purposes, then their usefulness declines, and they can become weapons that are used against others. This is demonstrated in many places in the greater community. Finer and more subtle abilities exist within all individuals, and greater powers exist within particular individuals and within particular cultures or races. These can all be exploited for political or military value. Therefore, there is a great burden in carrying knowledge and wisdom, the burden of keeping them hidden, knowing who to share them with and how much to share. This is why popular teachings about life force are fundamentally in error. Even the good intention to share something of value with others is often born of ignorance. Power must be accompanied by wisdom and restraint if it is to be useful and effective. All that we speak of in the books of knowledge represent a mystery and a great opportunity for you, but they are not easily accessible. You must study and prepare, and you must pass certain tests in life. You must demonstrate your sincerity, your humility and your self-honesty in order to advance and to gain access to the greater powers that we speak of, which are meant for you. Life force is a power. It is within you, but you cannot gain control of it. It is possible to use it in certain situations, but to actually have authority over it requires a highly developed and adept mind. This is important because in physical life you have the potential for power, ability and awareness. If these are cultivated wisely and applied appropriately, they become beneficial for you and for others. However, if they are used for other purposes, if they are used for defense or if they are used for conquest, manipulation or control, then in essence they become evil, something that is inherently destructive and counterproductive to the greater purpose of life, which is bringing all beings towards union and realization. Life force is important because it represents part of your experience of being in the world. It is a power that runs through your body. It is neutral. It is neither inherently good nor bad. The question then is, how will you use it? For what purpose will you use it? Will you invent your own purpose and apply it there? Will you justify your attempt to harness it based upon your own high ideals, your great thoughts or your altruistic ambitions? If so, it will elude you and deceive you. It will corrupt you and work against you. We speak of life force here because it represents power in the world. And what we have to say about the discovery and cultivation of this power applies to all forms of power in the world. Life force can be harnessed and directed. It is neutral, so it does not have a will. If it is cultivated according to the guidance of knowledge, the greater knowing mind within you, then like all forms of power, all abilities, and all forms of awareness, it will find a good purpose here. Here you must stop and ask yourself these questions. Why do I wish to know about this? What does it mean for me? What are my ambitions regarding it? Am I willing to train and prepare slowly and gradually in order to find these greater abilities that are being spoken of here? Ask yourself these questions, but do not give a ready answer. Instead, abide with these questions so that a deeper understanding may emerge within you over time. All that is great in life will elude you if you seek it for selfish purposes. All that is genuine and meaningful will turn sour if it is sought to fulfill your ambitions or personal goals. Thus, the wise remain hidden to nurture their development, to give their gifts appropriately and to protect themselves from the usury of the world. The more you know, the more discreet you must be. The more you have, the more discerning you must be. The greater your capability, the more restraint you must exercise. This requires great self-purification. In the greater community, life force has been harnessed successfully by individuals and small groups of individuals who serve a greater network of the wise. This network is called the harem. This word, which is from the Septuagint language, speaks of those who uphold knowledge in all worlds. Their purpose is not local or ambitious. They represent a universal purpose that bonds them with others very different from themselves. This has created an association of the wise who are unlikely ever to encounter each other face to face in manifest life. It extends the whole network and fabric of genuine relationship beyond the visual realm. Here heaven and earth overlap. Within these overlapping boundaries, there exists a greater bond of relationship, a greater awareness, and a greater experience of life. Knowledge within you will guide you to utilize all aspects of yourself appropriately and harmoniously and will lead you to develop certain aspects of yourself for certain specific purposes. It will not guide you to cultivate all aspects of yourself because this is unrealistic. It will not ask you to develop all of your capabilities to a high-functioning level because this is not possible. However, it will direct you to develop certain inherent abilities and certain skills that are relevant to your specific purpose in the world at this time. This is why there can be no ambition on your part if you seek to gain access to greater community knowledge and wisdom. Even if your motives are pure, should others discover your growing abilities, they will attempt to use you for their own purposes. Some will idolize you. Some will try to follow you. Some will glorify you. And still others will try to steal from you. Some will try to destroy you. Many will malign you. This truth comes as a great shock to the developing student of knowledge who discovers early on that their quest for knowledge is not shared by others, even those whom they love and value. Later they discover that their development alters people's perceptions of them, and people begin to act in very strange ways around them. Eventually, they will see that their gift, which is now slowly emerging within their own awareness, must be protected and safeguarded and given with great specificity to certain individuals at certain times. This requires tremendous restraint, for each person is eager for power and control to offset his or her sense of insecurity in physical life. Ambition exists within each person. Within the student of knowledge, it must be discovered and arrested in all of its manifestations. It is not power that you must focus on. It is your approach to power. It is not your abilities that you must claim. It is your understanding of them that must be cultivated. Once this has been accomplished, and this indeed may take a great deal of time, then things can be given to you. Then they will bear fruit within you, and they will find their rightful recipients within the sphere of your relationships. You will give to some and not to others. You will speak to this person but not to that person. You will give your gift here but withhold it elsewhere. This understanding is not comprehensible to the casual observer or even the critical observer, for they see things only according to a set of assumptions which they themselves have not challenged or faced. Life force within you can exert an actual physical effect. It can have an impact in the physical environment. In the mental environment, it can take the form of thoughts, forces of energy, powerful and self-sustaining ideas, and so forth. It is a power. Life force is not the same as knowledge because life force is not intelligent. It is like clay, you shape it, you form it and you use it for specific purposes. It is subtle, so most people are unaware of it. It is pervasive, so it is very effective. It is everywhere, so it can be harnessed and used. It abides in all living beings, so its application is universal. Should you be directed to develop life force within yourself, you will have to learn great restraint. It will turn against you if you use it for selfish purposes to fulfill your goals or ambitions. Here it will turn against you even if you want to use it to help humanity. Unless knowledge is your guide, your counsel and your restraint, you will create discord, confusion, despair and failure. You cannot use the power of the universe for personal reasons and hope to achieve anything of real merit or value. This is a truth that is universal. It affects all intelligent beings everywhere. With power and control come great responsibility and the need for restraint. When these are lacking, power is destructive. When these are present, power carries on a greater and more beneficial effort that can have great and lasting impact wherever it is applied. Should you become a real student of knowledge, you will begin to feel things consistently that you only rarely felt before. You will be able to experience life on a more subtle level as you prepare in steps to knowledge. Here you will need true instruction because you will need to identify and clarify your ambitions, both those that are known to you and those that will emerge within you as you develop. Here temptation can be very great. Here you cannot teach yourself. Here you must give yourself to your instructor and trust your instructor to guide you and to prepare you, to hold you back and to send you forward.